Hey, welcome back to disneynuimosdiy.blogspot.com. Today, as I said, oh, sorry for that. I think I have a cold, right? 'Tis the season. Um, so today I'm going to show you how to make these elastic skirts. They're very simple and easy to sew. It's even more simple than the skirt or the shirt. I guess I should have probably started out with this one, right? But these are all made from the same method, but they're all slightly different. Like this one has the length of your rectangle is longer, and so you have a more full looking skirt. If you want something that's more pencil-like, then you go with even less fabric. And then this, I'll kind of explain how I did this one a little bit later, but it's the same kind of concept with the elastic right there. And then as before, let's see. Here's Belle. She's wearing one of the beautiful skirts. And so see, you can update these and upgrade them as much as you want. Add so much detail, right? So you can see I put lace on this one, 3 layers. And it adds cute little detail to this white skirt. Sometimes white fabric is very thin, so I thought adding this would be a nice detail. But today we're going to match a skirt that goes with the shirt in our first tutorial. It's a cute little Tinkerbell color, right? So let's get these out of the way. Oh, Belle down. Come on, Belle, stay. There we go. So what you're going to need for this one is, again, cotton fabric. See, I thought this was really cute, right? I got this at Walmart. It's, another fat quarter. It'll use a little bit more this time, but that's okay. So you're going to need this. You're going to need some way to measure it, of course, and some way to cut it. So you can use scissors, of course, but I like to use something like this rotary blade when I'm doing long straight lines. You're also going to need some safety pins. I have 2 different sizes. I'll show you why maybe sometimes 2 different sizes is helpful. Again, here's fray check, so things aren't a big mess. Seam ripper, because as we learned last time, sometimes we might need that. And then the thing that makes it all work, the elastic. This stuff is 1/4 of an inch. You can see right there. And so this is what will make your skirt work. So if you go to my blog, disneynuimosdiy.blogspot.com, I have, well, this is the one of the patterns that you can get, right? But on here I have this skirt, which is 3.5 inches tall, and then it's 12 inches long. So you should get a skirt that looks like this, that kind of fullness. And I think it's the one on Belle as well. That kind of nice frilly, poofy skirt. But if you want something thinner like the pencil skirt, don't do the 12 inches, go smaller. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. Let's see if I can do it on here. I might have to pause. My desk is so tiny. Maybe someday I'll have a spot where I can do this, where I have a lot more room. Okay, so this way will be 3.5 inches. And of course, if you want, iron it out before you cut it. all you need. That's all the fabric you're going to need. Unless you decide to do like a 2-tier or something extra frilly, right? So the first thing that we're going to do here is sew, or I guess not sew anything, unless, I guess you can sew, but the first thing that we need to do here is this. So really the important parts to fray check, well, that ended up a little weird. That's okay. But the first thing, you just really need to fray check the sides and the top, because the bottom's going to get rolled under in the hem, unlike the t-shirts where it only do it once. Technically with the t-shirts you can do it twice if you want to as well. Haven't tested it out on this fabric, so we'll see how it goes. I should have probably trimmed this before I did this part. You see all these little frays. So I'm just going to make sure I'm going with the direction of the frays to get them down. Okay, there's that. Once it dries, I'll be back. All right, so we're back. The fray check is all nice and dry. Don't have to worry about those edges, which is really nice because this edge, one of the important edges, like if it frays, it'd be a big mess and hard for the elastic to do what it needs to do. So you could either start with the top or bottom. So right now I'm going to go ahead and start with the top part. And this is where our elastic is going to go. And once we create that, it's called, in sewing terms, it's called a casing. So because it's going to encase your elastic. So we're going to turn this over to this way. And what I want to do is make this part as thick as my presser foot on my sewing machine. Which, let me measure, that's about, what's that, 5/8 of an inch thick. So you can either just put it up to your machine and sew it down, or you can use, there's a nifty little gadget like this. I forget what it's called, but it'll help you set the thickness of the hems that you want. So say I went to like 5 inches here, I could just measure like that and pin it down. You'll notice that I'm not pinning today because of what happened last time. I don't really want to pin. So let me get this put into my machine and I'll show you how I sew it down. Okay, I got my camera set up here. So what I'm going to do, you can do it this way, where you feed it into the machine, this way where it just lines up with the edge of the presser foot. See how it's just as thick as our fabric? What I forgot to say is that I can't do it that way because I need to move my needle to the left to do this one. I could blind sew it like I did last time. I could feed it upside down and hope that I get it. But this time I feel like, since I want the casing not to encroach where the elastic is supposed to go in its area, I want to make sure that I'm going straight down here. So let's go ahead and sew this part. See? Just sewn right there. Okay, there we go. Let's zoom that out. Just right there. So now what we're going to do is work on the bottom part of the skirt. So since we didn't fray check this one, what I normally like to do with the skirts is go about like the normal, about 1/4 of an inch once, and then do it twice so it keeps that frayed edge in there. So that way it's just, it looks nice, right? Make sure my foot's back in the center, my needle. And again, I want to see what I'm doing, so I'm going to sew this down. Of course, you could always just do one, like on just one fold, like on this side, if you want to. Just make sure to fray check all of your edges. It just really depends on the look you want for your skirt. See, there's the bottom. Flip it over, it looks like this. Okay. Turn this off and scoot over. Come back down. This is where you're going to need your elastic. Oh my gosh, my video cut out. Super frustrating, right? Anyway, so now we're down here, we're ready. We need our safety pins and our piece of elastic. This elastic has been cut to, I have found that 4.75 or 4 3/4 inches is a pretty good standard length for all of the nuiMOs. So we're going to take this safety pin, put it on the end of this, right? And then it doesn't matter which side you enter it, but you see that little casing we made, right? Enter your safety pin here, and this is what's going to help you bunch it up to feed it throughout the whole thing. So now I know it's a lot of fabric, right? So once we get to this point, sometimes maybe you'll be afraid of losing this and then you have to start over multiple times. So that's why I have this little one, or maybe even just like a pin to hold down the end so it doesn't like keep popping out as I keep doing this, because it's just going to get more bunched as we go along. Now also, like if you have fabric that isn't like 12 inches long, you could always sew like 2 pieces together, like 2 rectangles. That's just like one little extra step by doing the seam down the center or on the one side, right? So this is the end here. And so what we're going to do from this point is take our skirt and sew it there. And let me get it set up in my machine. Okay, I took all the safety pins out. You can't always just tack it down, but if you're really afraid of losing it, I have done that before, and it's alright. So this time, I actually don't go to the hole, I go to the edge of the presser foot right here, and that's where I'm going to sew. Go a couple times over the elastic, because you want to make sure it has a nice strong hold. So there, that's the end of that one. All nice and sewn. So once it's all sewn, it looks like this. You can sit there and press this out if you want. And probably not a bad idea to press it with your fingers a little bit. You can even like tack down these edges with some needles and thread if you're really afraid that it's going to show through, but it probably won't. But once you turn it out, this will be your back. This will be your front. So let's go ahead this time. Poor Belle. I don't know if she wants to be completely immodest on the channel. So I'm going to dress her over here. Sorry, Belle. Stupid long tags. I don't know why. Anyway, so once we get our nice cute skirt on, get our cute little, look at that. Let's zoom out a little bit more so you can see her, right? Doesn't she look great in her new little skirt? And it was super easy, right? This is probably the quickest and easiest pattern that I have right now, and it's super effective. So let's see, I told you I was going to tell you, right? So these skirts are all made using the same kind of technique. This is just shorter in length. This is the same. And this one is a little different because it's still one layer of fabric, and I wanted to just do one, but if you look, it's, I don't know how, see how sheer that is? I decided to take like an extra wide piece of fabric, and then I hemmed both the top and the bottom. I folded it in half, and then on the top where the fold is where I put the casing. Well, not quite in half, right? Because I wanted these little, but anyway, on the fold is where that part is. And then I just sewed the back like I did that skirt. And so this gives me like a cute little double layer frilly kind of skirt. See, and then here's the one that Belle was wearing before, right? With our layers. So if you want to do something like this, before you sew up the side, you will have to, before you sew up your long seam, you'll have to add all of your details onto that long rectangle first, if you want something like that. Well, yeah, that's super easy, right? I hope you guys had fun watching. Please make sure to share your creations if you're able to follow along and make something fun. You can either go to, again, to the blog at disneynuimosdiy.blogspot.com, or go ahead and share on Instagram. Again, it's disneynuimos. That's it. Remember, no little hyphens. Of course, I'll have the words right there so you can read it. But that's it. So next time I'm going to do another kind of bottom. Again with elastic. So you can dress maybe your dudes or even your girls in some shorts or pants. But thanks for watching. See you next time. Have fun crafting.